to RPTV Weekly News Show. My name is Murphy Brown, and my co-hosts are Fred Alvarado and Jabin Haque. We present news that impacts Regent Park and other surrounding communities located in the downtown east neighborhoods of Toronto.
In this episode, we present you the following news for the week of November 23rd to November 30, 2021. Ontario investing $75.1 million to fight gun and gang violence. Teachers who wore blackface no longer employed by Toronto District School Board. A woman in a wheelchair dead after being struck by concrete truck near Dundas-Sherbourne. RPNA hold community-wide meeting to advocate for a tri-party community benefits agreement with TCHC and Tridel. COVID-19 vaccine for children to 5 to 11 years old. Events in Regent Park community.
Ontario investing $75.1 million to fight gun and gang violence. The Ontario government is investing $75.1 million over the next 3 years to fight gun and gang violence in the province. The provincial government says the money will support initiatives that will dismantle criminal activity, enhance investigative supports, increase collaboration throughout the justice sector, and stop the flow of illegal guns across the border.
This is about keeping our community safe. This is about keeping our children safe. These initiatives will disrupt gang activities and the drugs and human trafficking that fund these criminal elements. We will do whatever it takes to protect people from the criminals who want to do them harm and who threaten and prey on our children every single day. We will stand shoulder to shoulder with law enforcement. We will never relent in our duty to keep Ontarians safe.
The province says the money will establish the Office of Illicit Drug Intelligence to disrupt drugs coming into the province. The money will also go to help with firearm analysis and tracing in an effort to fight gun smugglers. The province is also creating a mobile prosecution team that will specialize in guns and gangs.
That is why dismantling illegal activities is the only way we can truly put a stop to the violence we are seeing in our streets and in our communities. To date, along with our federal partners, our government has invested approximately $187 million to disrupt criminal activity, prevent cross-border trafficking, enhance investigative supports, and increase collaboration among the justice sector.
Teacher who wore blackface no longer employed by Toronto District School Board. A teacher who wore blackface at a Toronto school last month as part of a Halloween costume is no longer employed by the Toronto District School Board, the TDSB, according to a letter sent to parents and students. In the letter sent out on November 17th, Superintendent Debbie Donsky said the decision regarding the staff member at Parkdale Collegiate Institute, located near Jameson Avenue and Queen Street West, follows an investigation into the matter. As we said in our first letter, informing you of this incident, caricatures of people's race or culture are not appropriate and are offensive and hurtful, Donsky said. Regardless of whether this was intended or not, it was racist and dehumanizing. Anti-Black racism, including blackface, and all forms of discrimination contravene the school code of conduct and multiple TDSB policies and procedures. Staff or students who engage in racist and discriminatory behaviors can face serious consequences. In a letter sent to parents earlier this month, Julie Ardell, the principal for Parkdale Collegiate Institute, said a student had alerted the vice principal that a white staff member was in blackface on October 29th, the last school day before Halloween, when staff and students typically dress up for Halloween. The principal said the teacher was asked to immediately wash their face. A report was filed with the board for TDSB's reporting and responding to racism and hate incidents involving or impacting students in school's procedure. The teacher was then placed on home assignment pending the outcome of an investigation. In the letter, Donsky also provided an update on a second incident of anti-Black racism at the Jameson Avenue School. In that case, another teacher there said the N-word in front of a group of students on October 28th. She said that investigation is continuing and an update is expected next week. Sarah Latha, a parent at Parkdale Collegiate who helped organize the Parkdale Against Racism rally on November 13th, said parents are relieved, but more importantly, Black identified students can see a glimmer of possibility that their safety and success is taken seriously by the TDSB. She said they also appreciate knowing that the investigation into the other known incident of anti-Black racism is underway and look forward to details about the TDSB's investigation into the handling of the incident by the Parkdale CI administration.
A woman in a wheelchair dead after being struck by a concrete truck near Dundas-Sherbourne. A woman well known to neighbors, community leaders, and service providers has died after being struck by a cement truck near Regent Park. Toronto police were called to Sherbourne Street and Dundas Street East at 10 a.m. on Thursday, November 18th, for reports that a 59-year-old woman in a wheelchair was crossing Dundas at Sherbourne when she was hit by a cement truck being driven by a 56-year-old man south on Sherbourne toward Dundas. The woman was located with severe injuries. After being assessed by paramedics, she was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the truck remained and is cooperating with police. City Councilor Christine Won Tam issued a statement following news of the woman's death, saying the victim was a widely recognized member within the Downtown East community. I am deeply saddened to hear about the tragic collision that occurred earlier today at the intersection of Dundas Street East and Sherbourne Street, Tam said. Tam says another member of the community was taken to the hospital to be treated for minor injuries. This intersection has long been an issue, which I have worked to address as it poses considerable safety risks to pedestrians in the area. It is monitored by the recent installation of CCTV cameras, and the applicable video footage will be reviewed by the Toronto Police as part of the ongoing investigation, Tam stated, pointing to the vast homeless population in the area. Toronto Police are appealing for information. An investigation is ongoing by Toronto's Police Traffic Services Unit. On Monday, November 22nd, police appealed for any witnesses or anyone with security or dashcam video for the incident or area to contact investigators at 416-808-1900.
RPNA hold community-wide meeting to advocate for a tri-party community benefits agreement with TCHC and Tridel. RPNA hold community-wide meeting to advocate for a tri-party community benefits agreement with TCHC and Tridel. On Thursday, November 18th, 2021, the RPNA, the Regent Park Neighborhood Association, held an emergency community-wide Zoom meeting inviting all members of the Regent Park neighborhood. Over 100 community members participated. The meeting, co-facilitated by Regent Park residents and RPNA members, Pavitra Sulanthar, Walid Kogali Ali, Marlene DeGenova, and Ismail Afra, began with welcome remarks and land acknowledgement. The stated purpose of the meeting was to inform residents on Phase 4 and 5 of the Regent Park redevelopment. Following the moment of silence for Thane Murray, a member of the community who was murdered this past September at the Big Park, co-chair Marlene DeGenova gave a quick overview of the RPNA. Formed by an elected group of volunteers in 2015, RPNA mandate is to create a unified voice in the community and represent the interests of all the residents, focusing on advocacy, community engagement, and community building. RPNA is also guided by the principles of the Social Development Plan in creating social cohesion and inclusion in this new redeveloped chapter of Regent Park. Marlene went on to explain that RPNA is governed by a leadership team which is comprised of half market rent residents and half Toronto community housing residents. Ismail Afra went on to speak about the past 15 years of revitalization. According to Ismail, revitalization had delivered many benefits, but also many challenges. Benefits include the Daniel Spectrum Community Hub, athletic grounds, and commercial opportunities. The challenges have been no follow-through on job creation for residents, construction quality issues, especially for Toronto community housing buildings, increased density, reduced proportion of the ratio of TCHC housing to market housing, which originally was supposed to be greater than 35%. According to Ismail, as part of Phase 4 and 5 of the Regent Park redevelopment, Toronto Housing Corporation's new development partner, Tridel Builders, has pledged $26.8 million in community benefits. According to AFRA, one of the milestones for the RPNA was signing a community benefits framework between TCHC and the RPNA for Phase 4 and 5 through its Community Benefits Coalition, considered the advocacy wing of the RPNA. According to AFRA, the framework ensures equitable community benefits like targeted economic development opportunities for residents are not only guaranteed, but also directed by and for the community. Walid Kogali added that according to the City of Toronto's 2019 report on the redevelopment, only 259 part-time jobs were created, since 2014, adding that there were no records before that year. Walid went on to state that only 33 residents had acquired full-time jobs from revitalization, and only a mere 17 residents had acquired home ownership, which for him was a failure. On the issue of home ownership, Kogali spoke about the foundation program and the boost program from which these 17 new homecomers benefited. According to Walid, these programs worked but had to be suspended because homes went up from $330,000 to $1.3 million in Regent Park. According to Kogali, as part of Phase 4 and 5, the RPNA's Community Benefits Coalition wants more realistic home ownership programs to be created in order for residents to have the opportunity to buy their homes. The meeting then moved on to the rezoning issue. Ismail Afra explained, this summer, Tridel and TCHC announced the submission of a rezoning application to the city for phases 4 and 5 planned for January or February next year. This application will ask to 1. Increase density, 2. Make taller towers of 30 stories or more, and 3. New amenities. Ismail Afra reminded attendees that zoning bylaws regulate land use and provide framework for growth, therefore potentially change property values, but that hopefully this would mean more social housing rather than less. This rezoning affects many aspects of living in Regent Park, and just like with the Community Benefits Agreement, the community need to be part of the decisions being made, not only consulted. In the meeting, the need to remind the new developers and TCHC alike of their pledge to community benefits became clear. A key aspect of this is the RPNA's push for the collaborative co-creation of a trilateral or tri-party community benefits agreement framework between Tridel, TCHC, and the RPNA's Community Benefits Coalition, in which the coalition, representing Regent Park's Market and TCHC residents, will have an equal say in the decisions being made around community benefits. The idea, as Ismail Afra expressed, is to have meaningful community decision-making as opposed to having consultations that go nowhere or are ignored. RPNA co-chair Marlene DeGenova finished the meeting by stating, "Don't let decisions be made for us. Nobody knows what we need but us." The meeting closed with a resident Q&A about community benefits, as well as closing remarks by Walid Kogali, stating that the RPNA has secured support for the trilateral community benefits agreement proposal from Marcy Ian and Suze Morrison, now only waiting for the city's support. To do this, RPNA needs as many resident voices and mobilization in order to secure the community benefits the community needs.
COVID-19 vaccine for children 5 to 11-year-old. Ontario parents of children aged 5 to 11 will be able to book COVID-19 vaccine appointments for their children starting Tuesday, with the first shots expected to be administered on Thursday. Health Minister Christine Elliott said the province would receive a little over 400,000 vaccine doses from the federal government on Monday, followed by another shipment of a little over 600,000 vaccine doses.
Some goes to public health units, some goes to primary care, some will go to pharmacies, of course. Pharmacies are going to continue to be great partners with us, but we certainly know that parents of younger children, 5 to 7-year-olds, would prefer to have their child vaccinated at their pediatrician's office or primary care. Family doctor, but for older children, they're okay if they're vaccinated in pharmacies and mass vaccination clinics as well. But we know that that's going to be important for parents to be there.
The province said parents or substitute decision makers of children will usually have to provide consent on behalf of their child at the time of an appointment or fill out a paper consent form for their child. Consent forms will be provided online and in paper at clinics.
A lot of parents still have some concerns and still want more information about the vaccines for younger children. And we do have a relationship with Sick Kids Hospital that you probably know about, that if parents want to speak with someone, they can certainly call the Provincial Vaccine Contact Center at it's 1-833-943-3900, or they can make an appointment to speak to someone at Sick Kids at sickkids.ca/vaccine consult.
The provincial government said there will be sufficient supply to provide a first dose to every eligible child in Ontario. Individuals who use the COVID-19 vaccination portal can book their child's second dose appointment after they have received their first dose at an interval of 8 weeks. Vaccine certificates with QR codes will be available for children aged 5 to 11 on the province's COVID-19 vaccination portal after they have been vaccinated. However, children in the age group are currently not required to show proof of vaccination in Ontario. And now we continue with events in Regent Park with Jabin Haque.
Thank you. Now I'll be presenting upcoming events in Regent Park community. The 19th Annual Regent Park Film Festival is back and taking place online again this year. It will be running till December 2nd. Don't miss out on the longest running free community film festival. For free access to this year's festival and programming, go to watch.regentparkfilmfestival.com or click the link in description. There will be 2 free communication competency workshops facilitated by Chris Leonard at the end of this month. Learn tools to successfully communicate in conflict situations where disagreement is high. Work on listening and communicating skills to overcome communication breakdown. These 2 workshops are sponsored by Regent Park's Social Development Plan's Capacity Building Group. They will take place on November 29th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and on November 30th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. over Zoom. Please register for one of the time slots by email to nikita.madu.nair@dcmail.ca or call 416-876-5310. Join Alicia Griffith from the Neighborhood Pods TO East York Don Valley Cluster for the last session of the Cluster Food Security Series. This event will bring community organizers, leaders, and residents together to discuss and build a framework on ways to increase food security in our communities. Join the conversation. The event will take place over Zoom on December 3rd from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. For more information, email eydvclustertable@gmail.com or phone 416-550-54139. To access the Zoom link, please click in the description. Have you ever wanted to get some basic sewing skills or brush up on the ones you already have? The Regent Park Sewing Studio will be offering 6 free beginner and intermediate sewing classes every Saturday starting December 4th. These classes are for Regent Park residents only and will be led by Regent Park residents as well. In these classes, you will learn how to do simple alterations as well as how to make tote bags and other simple garments. There will even be a fashion show at the end of the workshop series. Adults will learn from 10 a.m. to noon, while youth will take the classes from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Classes will be taking place at the Toronto Centre of Learning and Development at 540 Dundas Street East. To register, please contact Adriana at 416-779-6006 or send an email to adriana-moprp@gmx.com. And lastly, free athleisure swims for youth ages 10 to 24 at the Palm McConnell Aquatic Center on Wednesdays from 7:15 p.m. to 8 p.m., Sundays from 4:45 p.m. to 5:30 p.m., and at the Wellesley Community Center every Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. All participants must register for each swim at www.toronto.ca/swim. Swimmers 18 years and older must provide proof of vaccination. That is all for Regent Park's upcoming events. Hope to see you there.
And that's all for today's show. My name is Murphy Brown, and my co-hosts are Fred Alvarado and Jabin Haque. We also would like to thank our team of researchers who have contributed for this week's show, and from our studios at Focus Media Arts Center, thank you for watching and see you next week.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out all of our social media platforms. For more information, check out our website.